you just hate when you have a few extra minutes at the end of your class and you don't know what to do with your students? You have to keep them engaged in something, or else you know that there'll always be some kind of behavior problem lurking around the corner. I have the greatest idea for you. It's super easy, doesn't require any extra materials. All you need is a category and some students to come up with items that go in that category. Sometimes I call this game category game, sometimes I call it the alphabet game. Use whichever one makes the most sense to you. So for example, last week my students were learning about the biosphere. And so I gave them the category of biosphere, anything living. And they had to come up with one word for every single letter of the alphabet that fit into that category. So for biosphere, some of them came up with like alligators, and then they would go to the letter B, bumblebee, the letter C, cacti, the letter D, donkey, things like that. You could do this for math and do it for math vocabulary terms. A would be like addition, B, bar graph, C, calculator. So the students really have fun with this. They get to be creative and think outside of the box. If you're like me and like to hold students accountable for pretty much everything they do, I have a free recording sheet. I'll put the link down below. So this just has the alphabet letters all the way down the side, and students can write in for each letter the word that fits that category. So you could do this even a few different ways. You could have students have one student write at a time, or you could have them pass the paper. So one student would write a letter, then pass it to their neighbor, then pass it to their next neighbor. It's also an easy way to track, like if they skip the letter Q, I always try to make them go back and be really creative, or sends them home with that as like a little homework thought. Come up with something that starts with the letter Q that's in the biosphere. And the next day students came in and said, oh, we could use quail. So it's a perfect example. So you could do this with academic or non-academic categories. If you wanted to do academic, you could do pretty much any topic in science. You could do math vocabulary, you could do ELA. So for reading terms, you could do verbs and have students write a whole list of verbs, or you could do characters from books and have them do that. Or you can make it non-academic and have students write names of people that they know, activities that they like to do at home, their favorite food. That's always a favorite one. The recording sheet is not required. Do it as you would like. If it works for your students, great. If not, just have them verbally share with their classmates. I hope this tip helps you this week. Try it once, see what happens with your students. I'll see you next time.